And to discuss legal challenges that may result from President Biden's decision, let's bring in former Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill, Project 21 ambassador at the National Center for Public Policy Research. Mr. Curtis Hill, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you back. Speaker Mike Johnson says that Republicans could potentially file challenges if President Biden is replaced with regard to ballot access. Given that Biden was the overwhelming winner of the Democratic Party's primaries, gaining those delegates, saying that it would be wrong, is there, in your opinion, any standing there?
You know, there might be. This is a very unusual process that's unprecedented. And this is a little late in the game to be withdrawing from the race. And most states, all states, have rules pertaining to when a candidate can file for office and when a candidate can withdraw from office. So there are some situations where someone is on a ballot and the deadline to withdraw from the ballot has passed, and they still remain on the ballot for voters to have a choice. In this particular situation, there's no real emergency that's been declared. Biden hasn't died, and despite the fact that many people would agree that he has no place on the ticket, the reality is he simply has withdrawn or is choosing to withdraw, and this is going to put a lot of states in a bind. And there's just so much up in the air. What choice has the Democratic Party and Joe Biden given to the citizenry moving forward? That's the real question here.
So there's also, when it comes to campaign finances, certain instances where campaign donations must be returned if there's a change in the nominee, although this isn't always mandatory. What are the legal complexities involved in securing President Biden's campaign funds if he's replaced? And is this a significant factor the Democratic Party should be considering when selecting their next nominee?
Well, I think they have to. I mean, Joe Biden has control over tens of millions of dollars of donors who gave money for Joe Biden's presidential run, not for Kamala Harris or not for any other wannabe Democratic pretender that comes along. What's interesting is Biden has determined that Kamala Harris should be his successor, so that would certainly suggest that any monies that he has accumulated, he would willingly provide her way. But the real question becomes, will Kamala Harris be the actual Democratic nominee? I'm not so sure. You know, she's gotten the endorsement of Biden. She's gotten the endorsement of a few people, but interestingly enough, she has not yet received the endorsement of Nancy Pelosi, of Chuck Schumer, and most of all, Barack Obama. Are they holding back to see that what this test balloon of Kamala Harris is going to end up being, and saving the real juice for that next person who comes up? Because Kamala Harris is not the most exciting and competent person for the Democrats to choose right now.
To your point, there has been a bit of a deluge of endorsements coming in today. I think Pelosi actually just came in and gave her endorsement. But to your point, Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, still looms large over this whole situation. Some say that he may have been, one of the main factors behind the scenes pushing Joe Biden to withdraw. What do you actually make of him not throwing his weight behind Kamala Harris to this point?
I think he's waiting to see how she flies with the public, to see if she picks up steam. He's the big kahuna. He's the final straw. If he comes in and says that Kamala is his pick, she's going to be the Democratic nominee. If we find out in the next few days that she falters, which we certainly would expect because she's been a faltering vice president all the way, that gives him some room to hold back and look for someone else, a desperate Hail Mary, and put his support behind someone who they think can be a better candidate than perhaps Kamala Harris can be.
Former Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill, thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve.